deal.
Yeah.
Good, how are you?
He looks like he's got.
We're here for a fill permit.
Street clothes.
For your house.
He retired.
Do you need those?
What's that?
Do you need those?
Yeah, I guess, well, we wanted to get millings from the town brought to our property, to like backfill a driveway.
We did that with ours. We moved into our house, our backyard, our back door came to a 6-foot drop. And literally, the first season we were here, it created a pond in our backyard. We had little kids. I'm like, what the hell is this?
25.
Well, the plan said you were going to put a deck. I said, he's never going to put a deck. They said, deal with this. I said, Mike, they're everywhere. So that's when they were doing the sewer on Atlantic Avenue.
Yeah.
A couple of guys in the fire department I knew, and I was like, hey, what do we do? They said, well, we've got these big rocks, and literally like car-sized rocks.
Yeah, that they
Nowhere-
need some place
nowhere
to put them.
So no one can ever dig a pond or a pool in my backyard, ever. I mean, there are rocks that like were 2 in a dump truck, they're that big. And
Oh
so
my
they put them in there, then they brought like the crappy dirt, and then I
Yeah.
had to get the
Topsoil
topsoil and
to
the
go
sand. But that's when they were doing some of the work down by South Point. So I had the sand from there, and filled it all in. And the first year was pretty soggy, but then once it all settled in and leveled, that thing drained like a beauty.
That's what we need to do. We have a low spot coming off the road, and we put on a garage addition, so we just need the fill to, like, fill in the low spot.
Alright.
We don't have a pond in our driveway.
Yeah.
What was that? I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, so,
Wow.
surprise. I know the feeling. Bill's had it because he knows I want to get out of here. I go into the process.
Oh, really?
The guy goes, no, you can take a tree and do it, so the maple, a couple of roots and still. This day is still. Spring of flower.
Really?
Then after that, it's nothing.
Okay.
I have a stream right underneath my house. I saw pump once, 10 to 20 times a day.
Close, ball.
Wow.
Mine runs year round too. It doesn't, you know, when you disturb the ground and put foundations in, water has to go somewhere.
Speaking of roads, you know where, so the old ridges up here,
Yep.
and the lake's down there. And if you wanna go back.
Well,
Old bridge,
yeah.
then you know, we drove out of the ice in.
All right, Karen, you let us know when we rock.
I'm ready to respond. Yeah.
Here we go.
No,
No, not at all. And we're on camera, so I'm sure. And there we go. Well, let's bring the Thursday, September 1st, 2002 Webster Town Board meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dolly, can you do roll call, please?
Supervisor Flaherty.
Here.
Councilman Abbott.
Here.
Councilwoman Battalvi.
Present.
Councilwoman Wood.
You.
Okay, before we have something that is not on the agenda, I promise it'll only take a couple of minutes, but I have a proclamation that I'm going to read from the dais here, no reason to go over. I had the pleasure today, I was invited, I think yesterday, Tuesday, to Ruth Hilfiger's 102nd birthday.
Well,
And Kim Doyle in my office and myself went over at 1 o'clock to, is it the Marquee, is next to the highway garage? And let me tell you something, Ruth Hilfiger packs them in, because there had to be 45 or 50 people in the party group. And this lady doesn't look a day over 75. 102. So I said to Ruth, we brought her exes of flowers, because Kim is very, you know, mindful of those type of things. Me, I'm still working on that stuff. Well, we told everybody in attendance, most of them live at the Marquee, turn on 1303 Tonight cable, or if you have somebody at the place that knows how to do Facebook Live or YouTube. Because, and I'm going to read this proclamation, This is a proclamation recognizing the 102nd birthday of Ruth Hilfiger. Whereas longevity of life is a blessing for an individual and for the community, which benefits from the knowledge, creativity, and experience this individual brings to all. And whereas Ruth Hilfiger was born in Boston on September 1st, 1920, and is a descendant of William Brewster, who came over on the Mayflower. And whereas Ruth met her husband Eldon in August of 1942 while he was in the Navy, and he proposed 10 days later. And whereas Ruth and Eldon settled in Penfield, where Ruth worked for the Penfield School District for 20 plus years. Ruth's beloved Elton passed away at the age of 97. They were married for 75 years. And whereas Ruth moved back to Webster 5 years ago and has been living in the Marquee in the woods, she is busy with all her activities and is making many wonderful memories. And whereas Ruth and Eldon have 2 children, Bob, who lives in Brighton, and Diane, who resides in Webster, she has many friends and is loved by all who meet her. Ruth has that unique way of brightening someone's day by a kind word or interaction. Now therefore it be resolved that on the occasion of her 102nd birthday, the supervisor of the town of Webster, on behalf of the Webster Town Board and the entire Webster community, extend their sincerest wishes to Ruth and hereby proclaim Thursday, September 1st, 2022 as Ruth Hilfiger Day.
Happy birthday, Ruth.
Yes, and we are going to be bringing this over to her. Kim and I struggled with this because usually, you know, when we do these, the day that is the day for the organization of the person is the next day. And we're like, well, wait a minute, today's her birthday, we got to, so anyway, we had that. And she was very happy. So, thank you for patronizing me. It was not on the agenda, but I think it was important enough. And if you ever get a chance to get over to Narkey and meet Ruth, it'll make your day. She's pretty amazing. So, with that being done, this is the part of the meeting where anybody in attendance who would like to take the podium for no more than 5 minutes to speak about anything. And if there are multiple people that want to do that, we go in the order of who signed in first.
Do you want the list?
Did you sign in?
There's others ahead of me.
There was someone before me on number 2.
I signed in when we're on the
Ah.
agenda, so you can skip us.
Well, you're jumping up there then, Dave. Dave's up.
No.
I think, unless Les is speaking tonight.
Who was number 1?
No way.
Mike, right.
Yeah, Mike's
Yeah.
with me, we're
All
on
right.
the agenda.
Good evening. I'm Dave Jenkins. I'm speaking again about the EMS service in Webster. There have been a few developments since my last presentation. And by the way, I'm not sure why the ambulance issue was such important to me. I was going to drop it about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and the guy in the middle there poked me. Never poke a bear. Never mind. See, he always lies.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so I had a conversation with Jenny. Jenny Contestable is a friend of mine. She's on the Democratic Webster Committee. I'm also part of some of that. Anyhow, and a few friends of mine. We all believe that quality EMS as a service in Webster is a necessity. But all had different ideas and questions as to what quality means. Not everyone knew there was an ongoing issue. Some people did hear the West Webster Fire Department stopped their ambulance service. I don't know about Webster proper. Anyhow, so all want some sort of approval possible of any new ambulance service and the financing needed. I believe at the moment, Webster has an agreement with NEQALS, which is the Northeast Quadrant Advanced Life Support. That's what it stands for. $50,000 in town monies and another $255,000 of emergency from. This is for 2022 only, correct, Tom?
Correct.
Okay, so Tom wanted me to add that. The contract calls for NEQALS to be the first company called as a result of a 911 emergency. And again, it says, I hope I paraphrase this correctly, and I asked Tom for his assistance. This agreement gives Webster time to do the due diligence necessary. We have time to see what has been done and decide if we have to reinvent the wheel. Tom has requested copies of the EMS agreements from the other towns in Monroe County. Tom has also scoped out where ambulance service could be conveniently housed in Webster, both sides of town and spaced appropriately. Tom also sees an opportunity if needed to ask for bids and presentations from other ambulance companies, or not. This seems to be a new business opportunity. Please leave room, that's supposed to be please, not plus. Please leave room for adjustments as time moves on. Again, I have paraphrased that, I cut that from, I have been working on that for a while. Okay, Tom has also been looking at communication, education, and possible voter participation. Many pros and cons there. You talk to Tom, he goes through a list of things he did for other issues. It's, again, we'll see. I personally, I still believe a postcard issued to each voter, registered voter in the district is a way to go. You can't put it on the election, the time for November 6th election is passed to add anything new to that. An election, a town-wide election might not work. There are reasons. Tom and I talked at length on this the other day. But to me, this is maybe the reason why I come up here. I think it's a good way to do it. Did everybody get their G'nay mailer this week? I got a G'nay mailer, I put it right in the recycle box. But what it is, you open it up, you read it. I always read it, make sure I'm turned, you know. So anyhow, it says if you have someone that needs assistance, you have to say yes. And to put their name down, then you detach the card, hold it so that it's safe, it's glued, and it's mailed for free. It says on that back side, if mailed within the United States, this is free. I think we could use something similar for Webster, so that I don't know what your return would be on the postcards, but at least everybody would know what's going on. You could also use the Webster One system. That's the school system. I received that the other day, and I go, this might work. I always read it, and I especially read the adult education sections. Mine came in 2 different pieces I had to put together. Again, it doesn't matter. Okay. I know that the town council could just approve many or all of the above steps. But as much resident participation would go a long way to insurance that our town board is capable of handling all issues raised. Webster has elected you, narrow the choices down to 2 or 3 scenarios, define and codify these ideas. Then include the residents as much as reasonable in this large change of business residing in Webster. Again, people need to know what happens during an emergency. There's a sense of security there. And if we tell them, the more information we give them, the better. They might not like it, but at least it's done. One other thing, I'm ready to help. My friend Jenny is ready to help. Butch and Jen, talk to them, they're ready to help. Mike M., he's one of my friends from Xerox. Don't have his permission to speak his name, so that's just Mike M. He's ready to help. We'll do things like word of mouth is huge, neighborhood meetings, whatever you guys need. We'll even do the grunt work. If you need someone help counting votes, if you decide to go that way, we'll help count votes. All above board. We all see the need, we all care to help. And I'm going to be back. You'll see guys, I'll be back here in another month. We're not allowed questions. I asked Tom about that before. So if people want to talk to me afterwards, Tom knows how to get hold of me. Thank you,
David. I just had to change something on my notes here before. I think the only other speaker is Ahmed, who is the chairman of the board and president of, or CEO, he calls it. I'm a numbers, stats guy, so Dave gave the town board his notes. My name, Tom, is written 4 times on this document, and you spoke my name 10 times overall.
Huh.
I'm learning this political thing, I'll tell you that. So Dave and I ran into each other at my favorite coffee shop that I go to. I see your daughter. And Dave came over, I think this was Monday or Tuesday, and started talking to me. And I'm going to be honest with you, Dave. I'm going to really think about that in the future if all of a sudden my name is strewn all over this document and there's some things up there that were said that are not accurate to what I said to you. So, and I know you're a good guy, I know that. But if we're gonna have you come up in a month and talk, then you and I aren't talking the next month. You need to reference things up there from somebody else, because I have concerns that when my name is said, and people are watching this tape, that there are some things that were not exactly accurate. And I know you didn't do that on purpose.
I tried to keep.
I know you didn't.
Yeah.
But I just want,
15 minutes.
for the record,
2.5.
I think it was important for that to be said.
Okay.
And I can't stress this enough. Dave Jenkins is a good man. And I am a very verbose person who tends to be a little too congenial, and I'm minding my own business at a coffee shop, and Dave would come up and I would, you know, and so we talk. I'm gonna have to think about that, because I gotta remember now I'm a town supervisor, and talks like that might all of a sudden have somebody at a podium that are saying things that are out of context or not exactly accurate. And like I said, I know it wasn't intentional. It's a sensitive and emotional enough conversation.
If you
I
don't mind
don't
telling me
need
what did I do-
unintentional kerosene thrown on a fire.
What did I
That's
do
all I'm saying.
wrong? What did I?
I'm not, we'll talk, I don't know what to talk about. Ahmed, why don't you come up now, okay? Because I bet you're gonna talk about ice cream and hamburgers, or would you maybe wanna talk about EMS?
Maybe I wish Mrs. Hilfiger, 5,802 birthday.
Good.
No, so good evening Supervisor Flaherty and Town Board members. Thanks for allowing me a few minutes to address the recent discussion about why EMS in Webster needs financial support. As some of you may know, when NEQ was formed, all its funding came from the towns of Webster, Penfield, and Ontario. Over time, as we started building insurance companies, we received less money from Webster to a level where we are now 1/3 of what we initially received. What no one knew at the time was that volunteers in EMS were going away, the hospitals were going to stop providing us medicines, and that we'd eventually be starting an ambulance to ensure the town of Webster had a community-based ambulance for the future. The concept of a tax-supported EMS system in Webster has been presented as much as 20 years ago with no action yet. Without going into a tremendous amount of detail in my limited time, the challenge we face is that the income from billing insurance companies is unpredictable. At the start of the year, people have not met deductibles, have the full burden of all medical bills, and sometimes keep the insurance checks or pay over time. This is the same situation as we approach November and December, where people keep insurance checks and we have to chase them to send us the funds that are meant for us. With recent changes to legislation, there are new restrictions regarding what collection steps can be taken and when, further delaying our receipt of those funds. This is not a Webster problem, as we know. EMS agencies throughout New York and the U.S. are suffering financially because we are relying on outdated financial models to sustain these vital services. The town board has acknowledged the value of NEQALS and Webster EMS that we bring to the town and have committed to helping us survive into the future. And for that, I, the NEQ board, and our staff are grateful. The reason to speak tonight, Supervisor Flaherty, is because I've heard several people speak at meetings and on social media questioning why EMS needs help. I've reached out to several, and to date, not one has accepted my offer to meet and address their questions. There are no secrets, and I'm here tonight to publicly state, if you have questions, please contact me and let me answer them. We have a form on our website where you can email us questions or ask for me to call you. Our website is neqals.org. Again, it's NEQ as in Quebec, ALS, Alpha Lima Sierra.org. If you have groups or neighborhoods that would like to talk, I'll be happy to come speak. Again, I'm asking anyone with questions, ideas, or if you have any donations, to contact us at neqals.org. Please don't wonder why we need the help we are asking for. I'll answer whatever questions I can for you so you can better understand how we operate and why we are asking for financial support from the community. Thank you, Supervisor Flaherty and the town board.
Thanks, Ahmed. Okay.
Good night.
Well, next up, we have 2 sets of minutes, and I have reviewed the August 11th workshop minutes and make a motion that we approve them.
Stop.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Defelty? Aye. Councilwoman Wynn?
And also the August 18th regular town board meeting, I read those minutes and I make a motion to approve those.
Second. Supervisor Perry?
Aye?
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Councilwoman Scully?
Abstain, I was absent at that meeting.
Councilman Capps?
Aye.
Okay. Oh. John, Councilman Cahill didn't do the bills.
He did not, I did,
Thank goodness.
and I reviewed the bills and everything was in order. I would move that we pay them.
Second.
Councilwoman Scully?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Supervisor Perry?
Aye. Okay, and I also went over the prepaid warrants as submitted by the Director of Finance, Paul Adams, and I make a motion that we approve those.
Second.
Supervisor Perry?
Aye?
Councilwoman Scully?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
All right, Paul, I'm gonna let you give a little color to this next one, but if I can just get 30 seconds on it, is that, semantic issue, some people see it as the preliminary budget, but I guess the technical legal term is the tentative budget, is that correct?
This is the tentative budget.
Okay.
Once it's approved tonight, it becomes the preliminary budget,
There
which
you
will
go.
be presented to Dolly for town clerk.
So I'll just say this, is that this is, well, we started in May, so we're in June, July, August. We're about 4 months into what is about a 6-month process. That will culminate in early November, most likely, with the final adopted 2023 fiscal/calendar year budget for the town. A lot of work, a lot of meetings, if you follow these board meetings, workshops, you know there's a lot that goes into this to get to tonight. A lot of challenges that we face this year, very unique. And I don't want to steal Paul's thunder, but between the town board, which is, I hope people know that all the town board members are liaisons to the 14, 15 departments in town. Pat Stevens, our highway superintendent, is here tonight. Councilman Abbott is the liaison in 2022 to the highway department. Mary Harrington, our town engineer, is here tonight. Well, John Cahill is not here, but he is Councilman Cahill is the liaison. So there is so much hours and work and things that go into this to try to get down to the budget that balances being fiscally responsible, which we have, I'll hand it off to you now, Paul, a New York State tax cap that needs to be considered. And we also had the challenge this year of really inflation that has not been this way since I was 11 years old. And I'm kind of old. So I will hand the baton to you to give more of the color to this.
Yeah, as Tom said, inflation was an issue this year, along with some other costs. Wastewater treatment plant project is moving along, so we actually are planning to borrow for that in January of '23, so the principal and interest payments won't actually hit till '24, but we actually included about $500,000 of a allocation to the sewer capital reserve, which can be used toward that cost. So we're kind of ramping up for that. So as a result, the sewer rent is actually up quite a bit. It's up about 21%, about $40. But on the other side of the coin, the tax rates have been minimized to keep us under the tax cap overall. So as of right now, we are under the cap, and I suspect there may be a few more changes before we finally adopt this budget. But other than that, we're in pretty good shape at this point.
Okay. And I think the top board members has got the different derivations of this when Paul first put together a draft through about a dozen different edits and revisions as we kind of cuts and reclasses. The town board members have been privy to all of those, including in the last week to two, this one that we're voting on tonight. So is there any questions or comments by the town board members prior to me making a motion to approve this?
rates?
Well, Paul, I think did you just give the rate on the sewer and the,
Yeah, the other rates, I can provide those. If you have a village property, the tax rate's currently at $4.98, which is up 10 cents from 2022. But if you own a home outside the village, the proposed tax rate is $5.31, which is actually down about 12 cents from 2022. So basically, we had a shift between those tax rates and the sewer rent, because the sewer rent's up $40.70. So, in a nutshell, basically, we used appropriated fund balance in the two part-town funds, the general part-town and the highway part-town, to balance things out. And that actually caused the town outside village rate to drop.
Yep.
So,
Thank you, I think it's important.
it's complex,
Know
but,
those numbers, thank you.
right, but overall, it's under the cap.
good news is, I said, we're 4 months into a 6-month process. After tonight, then we'll have, the Webster Today October version has all the line items of the tentative preliminary budget. The public hearing on the tentative budget as we move toward the final budget. Still so much opportunities for the public to chime in about this or ask questions. So, without any further ado, I make a motion to approve the 2023 tentative budget to be filed with the town clerk.
Second?
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cosarelli?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
All right. Mary, I think this one's in your purview.
Do you
We
guys want
need to come up and.
Yeah, if you want to come up.
I'm sorry,
Come
Jen.
on.
Like this.
I told him we needed to talk, but I'll talk and I'll let him do the technical part. So Jennifer and Mike Wright, 1151 County Line Road. We're here for a fill permit. I don't know what details you need from us, Mary.
Well, I presented the board with the bill permit application. I went to the site to look at the existing conditions, so they're looking to create a slope from the garage they just put on their home to the existing driveway and just feather out some of the low spots in the driveway with millings and some fill dirt on the sides.
I don't really have anything else to add. It's pretty much what we're doing.
Any questions from the board?
No, the process that we have is for Mary to go out and work with the resident and make sure that everything is in compliance with the fill permit within the town. I place great confidence in that, Mary, and
Glad to hear it.
and grateful that you're doing that, so as long as Mary has looked at this and she's approved it, I'm good with it.
Okay. Jenny? No?
No.
All right, well, then I make a motion I make a motion to approve a fill permit at 1151 County Line Road.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye?
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cosarelli?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And will we just hear from you when we
Yeah.
see something show up?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you all.
Good luck.
Okay. All right, well, all right, next up is, Pat, I don't know if you, or Mary, I mean, I call this the continued measure twice, cut once, parallel plans as we try to really gather a lot of information about the highway facility before we launch.
Yes, so we are looking to do a resolution to solicit proposals for construction management services on the highway facility. We are in parallel researching the performance contracts such as what the sewer plant is under right now, but we would like to still proceed with this resolution as it's likely that we will put out a proposal, a request for proposals for a construction manager in the next short while. So we're discussing design services with an architectural and engineering firm, a couple locally, and then the construction manager would be the value engineering, estimating, project management component to that design process.
Comments, questions? The only comment I have is that proving that people watch or pay attention to our agenda items. I had 3 different people in the last 4 hours reach out to me somewhat saying, what did I miss? How are you already at construction management on the highway garage? Which is kind of interesting. So I did my best to explain that what Mary said. With that being said, I make a motion to solicit proposals for the professional service of construction management for the proposed highway facility project.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Catali?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quinn?
Aye.
Ed?
The next is a resolution to authorize the town supervisor to sign an intermunicipal agreement with Webster Central School District to allow the district to utilize the unleaded gasoline and diesel fueling facility for its vehicles at 1005 Picture Parkway on emergency occasions. I believe this is something that we do annually, and it's a bit of housekeeping.
Yes.
So that is my motion to authorize.
Yes.
Councilwoman Catali?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quinn?
Aye.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye. Okay, next is cycle items from the IT department. I'm going to make a motion to declare the following items for recycle from the IT department. A Dell Optiplex PC, tag number 05799. A Dell Optiplex PC, tag number 06196. A Dell Optiplex PC, tag number 05794. A Dell Optiplex PC, tag 05783. A Dell Optiplex PC, tag 06024. A Dell Optiplex PC, tag 05217. A Dell Optiplex PC, tag number 05797. And last but not least, a Dell Optiplex PC, tag number 06476. That is my motion.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilwoman Catali?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quinn?
Aye.
You know what's funny is that this IT world, like this laptop I got, 2018, I think it's new. I think that's got to be recycled, doesn't it? 4 years. Wow. Crazy. Okay, and the last formal agenda meeting of the evening, I don't, I wish Charlie was here to answer this. I don't know if I really wanted to read off.
I don't think you have to.
They've been up on the website for 3 days now. I think they'll continue to be up there because where this is a resolution to declare various items as surplus for transfer to the police department, there is potentially 80 different line items here. So I think if anybody wants to see what they are, they can ask the town clerk for copies, or they can go on the website and see the 80 line item list of these items. What's that?
74.
Was it 74? I was just trying to round. Maybe I could have read them off by now, right? No, I couldn't have. One thing I do want to say, and Chief Kohlmeyer wasn't able to make it tonight, really these are broken down between surplus, no longer in use, and then there's ones that are being transferred to the police department. This is kind of a putting a ribbon around something that I could make the argument that the transfer didn't need to be done because these were being utilized by the special police department. Technically, the special police were under the police department's purview since January of '21. But Chief and I talked about it and said, you know, just to be documented up nicely, we are formally moving those special police assets over to the police department. And when they went through these, there was a lot of things that are just not utilized. Any questions on that?
No, I would just say that in the whole scope of these pages of things that we're surplusing and transferring, there's 22 that fall under that and all the rest,
Yeah, the majority are, they're being,
like 1993, I said.
it was like cleaning a garage,
Yes.
you know, in a lot of ways, and that happens. So, with that being said, I make a motion to declare various items, 52 of them as surplus and 22 transferred to the police department.
Second.
Supervisor Clary?
Aye?
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Capaldi?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Okay, well, that completes our formal agenda tonight. We'll, I guess, leave the phones open. Do you think that will ever call us? But I know what Dolly's gonna say when we get to her tonight. Oh, I know what Dolly's gonna say. So we're gonna start over. Mary.
Yeah, Sandberg Park is progressing along. They are expecting the granite curbing to get in by mid-January on site and then start installing it. So we should have our 2-lane roadway all the way to the curb line done in time for the bridge opening. So we're on schedule and we're excited to see that progressing along.
Paul.
Yes, Tom. I think this week we decided to move the budget public hearing by 1 week. It was originally scheduled for October 6th. It will now be October 13th at 7:30 p.m., which is actually a town board workshop. The reason for that is because of the timing of the Webster Today publication, which will have the full budget, line-by-line detail, and a few other charts and graphs, which I think will come out by October 1st. It should be in the house, in the homes backed up,
Yeah.
October 2nd or 3rd or 4th. And then
I think that's what.
Yeah.
It's interesting because just in case the town board members are like, oh my goodness, we're gonna have a workshop and a public hearing on the budget that night? No. We won't have any workshop presentations on the 13th. We will solely do the public hearing for the budget. I think that's enough for the night. Bill?
Mary stole my thunder. We've been meeting on the highway garage, trying to work through a few things to get it down to where we think we're comfortable with the design engineer and progressing with it. Hopefully we should have some more information by next week.
Ed?
Just another exciting week as the liaison to the sewer department. I visited yet another sludge dryer yesterday over on the west side of town. I'm becoming very knowledgeable about sludge dryers. More than I ever wanted to know or see.
Just love that term, sludge dryer.
It's pretty cool.
I bet it
Because
is.
what comes out the other end is a Class A biosolid that can be
Yep.
used for fertilizer.
It's
As opposed to hauling it off to our landfills, which are charging us more and more each year. At some point, probably won't be taking it at all. So we are going to be ahead of the curve, and we are going to turn our wastewater treatment plant into a water resource recovery facility.
Yes, we are. Jenny?
Well, I hope everyone will enjoy their long weekend, Labor Day weekend. And I would encourage people to come out and support our Webster Library, our museum, and our local farmer market. Have a good night, everyone. And thank you.
So yes, there is we end with the esteemed, well, I can't call you the town clerk tonight because I probably should call you the collector of taxes. Tax receiver. So are you gonna talk about dog licenses or handicap stickers tonight, or what do we got?
The Webster School tax bills were mailed out yesterday. I believe people start seeing them today.
I got mine.
So, again, if a resident, if any of the residents do not see their bill within a week, please call the tax office, and we will either mail you a copy or send an email.
Well, that does it for tonight. This meeting is adjourned. And that is what time? 8:07. Dave, I know you're probably anxious as can be.
Well, is there a council person that you're going to first?
What's that?
You mentioned everybody's is a point person in the council for something. Is there a point person in the council for ambulance?
Well, John McHale is the councilman that is the liaison to
So-
ambulance, yeah.
You want me to speak to him before I speak to you?
Dave, and you want to know what my note is on your list here? I'm going to read off what I wrote. And you would ask me during the meeting, what was it that I said? Last, you might want to turn on the camera. See an opportunity if needed to ask for bids and presentations from other ambulance companies. If we play back the tape and how you said that, that is problematic, saying that, especially attaching my name to it. And
I got that from the
I know it
email you
was,
sent.
that was gas on the fire. It was unintended by Dave, but it could cause a problem. That was my note. You know? And I gotta get better at this, that when I'm having these coffee conversations at 7:30 in the morning,
That was direct.
you know, and you're a better political person, and so is she to me, that I am learning this past week or two that things I say all of a sudden end up at the podium with my name attached. And you weren't here for it. And Dave, you're a good man. You certainly